when a ruthless motorcycle gang member assaulted a person experiencing homelessness, a man's canine companion in the supermarket's parking area. He had absolutely no idea that Keanu Reeves observed the unfolding situation, which initially appeared to be another day, unheeded by the global stage, swiftly passed, transformed into an occurrence that no one in that a parking lot could never forget anything. A cruel event was imminent, but fate intervened with a sudden turn. Destiny was about to manifest in the form of someone. The opportune moment and the suitable location, too. Alteration. Before we explore this in depth, the story is asking us about our viewing location. Tell us about your city or country. The remarks, and remember to join the channel by subscribing because we're in for another inspiring day tomorrow. A tale uniquely crafted for your shopping trip at the supermarket. The parking lot was operating at its customary level of. The rhythmic squeak of shopping carts echoed as shoppers moved through the aisles. Engrossed in their daily rituals, they rushed to fulfill their daily responsibilities more effectively. A secluded corner, barely noticeable to the average person. A man without a home was seated on the ground, clutching a tattered cardboard sign with a plea, "Help me," scrawled upon it. Beside my closest friend, there's a dog. A tailored coat rested peacefully, taking in its surroundings. Surroundings observed with careful yet peaceful attention. Every so often, the man would glance with his eyes. Went to pet the animal, which reacted with a gentle twitch of its tail, a gesture, yet one imbued with. Their connection transcended mere companionship. It was a bond of profound depth. Terms might speak about a few weeks prior to on one of the most frigid and isolating nights of his. The man felt certain his life would be cut short. To witness the dawn unsheltered, ravaged by fever and utterly overtaken by. Worn out, he slumped down in that exact same place, almost surrendering, then suddenly, as if from a tiny. Miraculously, the dog showed up, but it didn't bark or cause a commotion. It simply reclined beside it, cuddling him with its warmth and introducing an essence that within an inexplicable manner conveyed the sense that you were not solitary as the sun ascended that morning. The fever had broken, leaving the man feeling there had been a change within him. From that point forward, they were inseparable. The dog was more than just a companion. It was the impetus that continued to fuel his strength, to confront a new day, and behold, they remained in that isolated nook, continuing on their peaceful daily life amidst the world. Their surroundings remained unmoved until, in a flash, something unexpected occurred that nobody could had foreseen was imminent. Abruptly, a deafening roar erupted like thunder. The rumble of the motorcycle reverberated through the parking lot. Every eye was drawn to it, captivated by its presence. The bicycle skidded to a sudden halt. Engine continued to roar powerfully as the atmosphere underwent a palpable change. A sense of impending cruelty loomed, and the delicate equilibrium of peace in that. The corner was on the verge of being destroyed. The motorcycle's powerful roar abruptly ceased, but it created a lingering sense of unease, as if an impending storm. The figure who dismounted from the bicycle, he was a towering, broad-shouldered figure, donning a well-worn leather jacket and boots that reverberated off the pavement. He removed his helmet, exposing a lined face etched with a chilling smile that held no positive assurances. His gaze swept across the parking lot until they settled on the isolated corner where the man, accompanied by his canine companion, was seated. The biker began a slow, deliberate walk, one step at a time. Resembling a countdown's reverberation, he appeared to appreciate the unease he inflicted by his awareness. How those in his presence looked away, to steer clear of him during that time. A few paces from the homeless man, he ceased, cocked his head, and emitted a dry chuckle. "Well, take a gander at the spectacle we've created." His voice was saturated with expressed contempt for a loser in his foolish wager. Betting on that canine holds greater value than you does the man seated there. The ground momentarily lifted its gaze, but swiftly lowered them, circumventing. His confrontation was marked by nervously clasped hands. The cardboard sign was clutched even more firmly by the dog. A low growl rumbled from beside him, naturally positioning itself between the motorcyclist and bike owner. What's going on? The biker jeered at the dog, bending forward in amusement, somewhat in the manner of speaking directly to thee. An animal is about to bite me. I'm going to protect myself. This worthless excuse for a human you claim as your owner. I'd wager you're the sole individual who truly feels this way. Regarding him, please simply leave us in peace. The man spoke in a feeble, barely audible voice thick with. In a state of utter despair, he grasped desperately for something to cling to. The dog, as though he possessed the power to protect it, retreated. Only the biker's laughter echoed once more. Approaching nearer, the two of you ought not to even. This is a parking area, not a place for discarding trash. Individuals, like yourself, tend to obstruct. Individuals striving to lead their lives as a man attempted to reply, but the words felt elusive. The words died in his throat, and he bowed his head, petting the dog, which was now showing its defensive stance, further intensifying. The biker's face contorted with rage, his gaze fixed on something. His taunts terrified me, the biker sneered. Looking at the dog, I wager it won't even. A feeble attempt. Nothing more than a pathetic excuse for an. The animal, mirroring its owner, also raised itself. A foot mimicking a kick aimed at the dog. The dog reacted with a natural recoil, and the man pleaded, "No, please, don't harm him." The biker chuckled, his laughter echoing once again as he sat up straight. Refrain from harming him. Perhaps you ought to educate him instead. It's crucial to show deference to those in authority. The air grew thick and oppressive in this vicinity, and the biker's countenance grew even more. He advanced another step, the shadow now enveloped the man entirely, and a smile played on his lips, accompanied by his faithful dog. That he was poised to act, yet just as he was about to, a firm voice asserted its power, capable of accomplishing anything. A man simply stated his point, letting his words hang in the air. A voice, resonant and profound, imbued with the resolve of everyone in the parking lot. Many froze, their gazes shifting towards an individual moving towards a state of tranquility in his. Her stance hid something formidable, and in that instant, destiny started to unfold. A surprising shift, the firm voice reverberated. Across the parking area, carrying. A hush fell, enveloping those who had been. Turning away, they disregarded the unfolding scene. Seeking the origin of such. Unexpectedly, the biker wielded authority. His expression changed suddenly and sharply. Disapproval shifting to annoyance. Driven by curiosity, he narrowed his eyes, attempting to discern who had taken the audacious step of intervening. A solitary figure strolled serenely amidst the rows of parked cars. Approaching the disturbance was out of the question. To fail to recognize that undeniably distinct face, even for individuals who didn't consider themselves movie enthusiasts, Keanu Reeves opted for a simple dark attire. Denim, a black t-shirt, and a lightweight. His leather jacket accentuated the measured pace of his steps. His face held a serious expression, yet menacing as he halted abruptly after only a few. From a distance of just a few meters, he gazed straight at the scene. "Do you believe the biker remains steadfast?" "That's correct," Kino affirmed, his voice stating it as a fact. Remained composed, yet exuded an air of authority that caused the biker to pause for a moment. "Tell me, who exactly do you believe yourself to be?" The biker retaliated, attempting to conceal his. With an air of arrogant surprise, he exclaimed a nervous chuckle. "Oh, of course, the large. A renowned Hollywood actor has arrived to impart a message of ethics." What a joke. Keanu took a step forward, lesson learned. Disregarding the instigation, "This is not concerning me. It's centered on you. focusing on your perspective. He pointed at them and said, "You're acting towards them." The destitute man and his canine companion now sought shelter together. United on the earth, those two. "I shouldn't have ever ended up in this situation," the biker yelled, attempting to regain his self-control there, simply existing and being a nuisance. Keanu inclined his head ever so slightly, evaluating the man in front of him and yourself. Consider causing harm to someone or something. That inability to defend itself empowers you, or does it merely expose your true self? The biker, clearly disturbed, took a advancement intended to frighten. Behold, you don't require life lessons from an entertainer. Could be a household name in the film industry, but in this place, you're simply another face. Keanu didn't flinch, and you merely exist as another. A man consumed by rage, yet your anger. His actions don't excuse inflicting pain on others. His stare conveys this. Moved to the bottle, the biker, held partially concealed by his leg, and it definitely doesn't provide a valid reason for driving. The words struck him with the force of a bomb while intoxicated. The biker hesitated briefly, but then swiftly attempted to retrieve you, but you're unaware of any details. He shouted defensively about himself. "Perhaps I don't," Kino responded calmly. "However, what is currently being witnessed by all present reveals a great deal about you." The individuals in your circle who had been watching discreetly started to. The social pressure was growing increasingly insistent, and it appeared as though the biker had come to understand that things were deteriorating rapidly for him. The tension hung heavy in the air, tangible, and the motorcyclist gripped his hands, undeniably torn between engaging. Keanu either retreated or yielded before he had the chance to. Keanu inched forward, his resolve hardening as he prepared to make a choice, meeting his gaze unflinchingly with a resoluteness that appeared to defuse any aggressive. "All right, so what are we deciding on, Kino?" His voice remained firm, unwavering like a solid rock. An event was imminent that would alter the trajectory of this. The biker's breath was a constant companion, a story told through each inhale and exhale. His gaze was intensely fixed on Keanu, as though attempting to unravel the enigma of the man who was bold enough publicly confront him, escalating the tension. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension, approximately becoming denser. A gathering crowd, which was beginning to enlarge, accompanied by whispered words of encouragement. For the sake of Keanu, others even retrieved their mobile devices. As the scene unfolded, the biker observed it carefully. His way was illuminated by the camera's focus. He gritted his teeth, his irritation plainly evident. "Believe you're capable of embarrassing me in front of," he yelled, gesturing with a pointed finger at. Keanu spoke in a booming, aggressive tone. Could be a movie star, though that doesn't. In this context, Keanu's composure remained undisturbed. His hands went limp at his sides. "I'm not." In an attempt to embarrass you, he responded with, "Attempting to prevent you from doing something." You'll lament the biker's terse utterance. A derisive chuckle, regretting the ease with which words are spoken. Concerning remorse when you're in possession of millions. Bank employees, individuals like yourself, are unaware of. Experiencing life as if you were in a gutter. Keanu. He cocked his head, his gaze unwavering. Fixated on the biker, the anger consumes you. "My emotions are irrelevant to this situation," as are his. He indicated, with a nod, towards the homeless individual. "It resides within you, and your current actions is disseminating it among individuals who are not." Keanu's words appeared to resonate deeply, as if they held a weight of deservedness. A profound feeling, fleeting yet intense. For a short time, the biker averted his gaze, his stance becoming uncertain. However, he promptly raised his voice once more, attempting to regain control over the scenario you're unfamiliar with. I yelled at him, gesturing toward Keanu. "Believe you're a savior rescuing strays and canines." What a ridiculous turn of events. Keanu took another step, Just a short distance ahead now, a few feet away from the biker's voice became a barely audible whisper, but it possessed an unyielding. The choices you make today will shape your future identity. Your actions are causing pain to someone more vulnerable than yourself. Won't resolve your issues, it'll solely inflict your own suffering. There, the crowd observed in hushed stillness, even the individual experiencing homelessness who had been residing. He lifted his head and looked up. Keanu, as though catching a faint flicker of optimism. The biker looked around, taking in the expressions of. He felt the weight of their silent scrutiny, gripped his fists tightly, visibly torn between, succumbing to the pressure or yielding to the urge to act on. He abruptly spurred forward, then swiftly lowered himself, picking something up from the floor. His eyes blazed with fury as he bottled it up. My gaze remained fixed on Keanu throughout the entire parking lot, held its breath, anticipation hanging heavy as it awaited what would unfold next. The biker tightened his grip on the. He gripped the bottle firmly, his hands shaking, a touch hesitantly as he gazed at Keanu. His breaths came in ragged gasps, as though he were engulfed by inner turmoil. Consumed from the inside out, he stared, on the verge of eruption, yet something within him. The expression suggested a touch of uncertainty, a subtle reluctance. Doubt's whisper lingers even within his fury. You believe. He finally bellowed. Take me. Brandishing the bottle menacingly, you contemplate. You surpass me simply because you have the support of everyone present. Keanu remained steadfast, his gaze unwavering, fixed on the. He stated that this wasn't concerning the man standing before him. On whose team someone stands, he responded. It's fundamentally about what's ethical and what's we're doing right now isn't simply incorrect. It's risky for you, for them, and for every individual you encounter. Keanu's words appeared to hit a sensitive spot with the biker, held the bottle with a fiercer grip, but remained motionless. The crowd surrounding them, unchanged, held their breath, as if the very flow of time had paused. You have no knowledge of me whatsoever. The biker yelled once more, his voice this time nearly hoarse. You wouldn't believe what I've done. Have experienced the depths of my losses, so please don't. Let me know what's correct, or Keanu mistakenly took a further step ahead, narrowing the gap even further. He was now near enough to feel the intense, the smell of alcohol wafting from the. Maybe I don't, the biker replied, his voice a barely audible murmur. Yet I can discern your presence, misplaced, and your current actions. Won't resurrect anything. It's will only propel you deeper into. The biker recoiled, as if startled by Keanu's phrases had pierced through a portion of him. With emotional defenses in place, he regarded the bottle. His eyes darted back and forth between his hand and fury and bewilderment, yet then as though, in an attempt to re-establish his dominance, he elevated the bottle a touch, gazing. Go straight to Keanu if you believe you're capable. Why not give it a shot? He dared. A sly grin spread across his face. Before he had a chance to react, something unforeseen occurred. A sudden, sharp, piercing sound reverberated. Across the parking lot, a piercing whistle rang out. And, with a deafening roar, all eyes turned towards it. Though the source was known, no one foresaw. As fate was about to reveal itself, be introducing yet another unexpected turn of events. A piercing whistle sharply rang out for this scene. Across the parking lot, severing the thick tension of the moment, as if by glimmer in the gloom, the biker remained. Gripping the bottle, he violently snapped his head. As he moved towards the sound, his face transformed. Along with, Keanu's gaze shifted, revealing a hint of irritation, rapidly determining the origin of the unanticipated interruption originating from elsewhere. On the periphery of the parking lot, an elderly gentleman, with a plain look and an undeniable aura of authority, descended. He strode confidently, his attire bearing the marks of time-worn security. Consistent, yet there was a certain quality to him, bearing that radiated confidence as he got nearer, he halted, folding his arms. As he evaluated the situation, he eyed you intently. The security guard stated that his voice was of a low, deep timbre. He gestured commanding, "Release it immediately." Handheld bottle, biker's grip, who the heck? Do you believe you're a biker? He shot back. Clearly annoyed by the interruption, go. Return to your designated space. This matter is irrelevant to you. What it does to you is what it does to the security guard. His voice remained steady as he responded, "You're drunk, menacing individuals and causing disruption to the tranquility, and that's not something I intend to pursue." To disregard the biker sent a shiver of unease down his spine. Smile, yet a touch of apprehension lingered. As he shifted his position, he looked around, realizing the gathering was still expanding and a growing number of people were observing through their elevated phones, prepared to record each and every moment of social interaction. The pressure was increasing relentlessly, building like an unstoppable surge. As Keanu charged towards him, he seized the distraction emerged once more, taking another step forward. A soothing voice caught the biker's ear. He reiterated, "Giving you one last chance to stop. Stated to put it down and leave before things are escalating, and you have a decision to make right now." The cyclist clenched his hands tighter on the. His knuckles whitened as he gripped the bottle. Gazes flickered rapidly between the security guard, Keanu, and the individual experiencing homelessness who had formerly been. Gripping the dog firmly, he appeared prepared to break, yet something appeared to be keeping him restrained. "This is a jest," his voice trembled as he whispered. "You all think you surpass me. I believe you possess the ability. Evaluate me, but my resolve won't waver," he asserted. The bottle ever so gently, almost as though it were attempting to demonstrate something to his own satisfaction and to the world. Otherwise, before he had the chance to continue, an unforeseen event occurred involving the dog, who had maintained a quiet, watchful presence until then, emitted a resounding, shrill bark that reverberated across the parking lot. The sound was overwhelmingly loud, so abrupt and powerful that the biker was stunned. His hand froze in midair, capturing the attention of everyone present. Now his gaze shifted to the dog, who stood majestically, gazing at the biker with a boldness that appeared more substantial than its diminutive size suggested. It was as though the small creature had decided it couldn't tolerate any further damage, and at that instant, the narrative's trajectory shifted, was on the verge of changing positions once more. The sound of barking reverberated across the parking lot. A bold cry of defiance, despite its smallness and despite its vulnerability. The mutt held its position firmly, gazing intently at the biker with unwavering defiance. The biker, seized by a sudden resolve, stood still, briefly speechless before scoffing at. "That dog is a mutt. Are you serious?" I growled, my hand tightening around the bottle. Cautiously, Keanu moved forward. "It's not just a dog," he stated, his voice unwavering. "It's a companion, and it appears to possess more courage than most of us possess." The crowd whispered their endorsement, letting them be. The biker's agitation became apparent as he glanced. "Considering the expanding audience, what are your thoughts?" He yelled. "My life is simple." Evening his. "That guy's situation is incredibly frustrating. He really shouldn't be here." Keanu, now having moved closer, spoke. "Possibly, this is the sole sanctuary he seeks. Perhaps all he possesses is that dog. Friendship, however your actions don't. Allowing it to proliferate will only result in more suffering for the biker." Keanu's words struck a chord, leaving a lasting impact. Gradually, his hold on the bottle weakened, and his shoulders sagged with defeat. He shifted his gaze to his motorcycle, momentarily stopping quickly before whispering, "I'm just exhausted." Then he mounted his bicycle and departed, leaving a more tranquil scene behind. Thoughtful, Keanu lowered himself to one knee beside the crowd. A homeless man and his canine companion. Are you all right? The man, with a gentle inquiry, nodded back, his eyes brimming with tears. Expressing his gratitude, Keanu presented him with a card. Take your pet to the veterinary clinic. They'll help. Assist him, and you'll find assistance from them as well. Overcome with gratitude, the man held. As Keanu retreated, the applause swelled, punctuated by the snap of a closing card. Spread through the gathering and the man. He embraced his faithful canine, a beacon of optimism. Even in the face of adversity, a small gesture can sometimes be profoundly meaningful. The power of kindness to transform lives is immeasurable. Never undervalue the strength of compassion, no matter if it originates from a stranger or a quadrupedal. Hey friend, if you like the tale, be sure to explore additional stories of hope and strength. Click to observe.